My Grandma's. And My Grandma's is a company that is based in New England. They offer us a 150-year-old recipe for some of the best cakes that you will ever enjoy. Whether you use the coffee cakes for breakfast like we did there with the French toast slathered in delicious syrup, whether you use them to cube and put on top of Pat's ice cream from Frozen Bean, or if it's just sliced up and put on the buffet, using a trifle, however you want to put it together. Please don't miss out on this. We are just now back in stock. M67993 is the item number. The 3 flavors include the original cinnamon walnut, the almond poppy, which is back in stock, and finally the blueberry choice. Would you like some cake with your blueberries? Because there's so many blueberries in that. We're going to talk about this whole process, but what you need to know is that these are made in small batches in Boston, all farm fresh eggs, delicious Madagascar bourbon vanilla. You get approximately 14 slices per cake, so they are really good sizes at this price point, $26.75 per month. We have Marie Louise Ludwig, who is one of our resident foodies, to talk about My Grandma's. And welcome back into the show. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you.
Hi, Marie Louise.
So great to be here. I'm all decked out for the 4th of July. I am all ready. And we're so delighted to be baking 3 of our summer favorites for you. Baking them fresh in small batches in Boston. A commitment truly to a 150-year-old plus recipe. Our QVC family has simply fallen in love with these cakes, and why not? They're delicious.
They are. Oh my gosh, they're so good. And we'll start with the flavors of each one of them.
Yes,
and
please.
Let's go with the original if we could, Marie Louise. So that is the cinnamon walnut.
You know, and I love that one piece you have there on your left side. Look at that. Inside our cakes, that signature streusel with what makes this particular cake so great, those big, fresh, crunchy California Mariani walnuts, a whole bunch of cinnamon and sugar all the way through the middle and on the top, Madagascar bourbon vanilla, pure dense cultured sour cream makes this cake really dense and heavy and moist the way it was made traditionally over 150 years ago.
And you know what, you say dense and heavy, and I feel like, you know, it would be something that would be really like, you know, stick to your stomach. It's not. This is a light cake. You can see the moistness as I squeeze my fingers together. It's just incredible and just packed with flavor. So that's the original. Then we'll go into the poppy. Now, this is the one that sold out the last time that we had this on the air.
You know what, when you're talking about tradition, although the cinnamon walnut truly is a very traditional Eastern European recipe, this one really, I think, takes the cake, if you will, so to speak.
Pun intended.
This is made with, pun intended. This is made with pure almond extract. You've got the almond in there, and then those tiny little crunchy poppy seeds all the way through, and then generously sprinkled on the top by our master bakers. This is one of those recipes you can expect to find if you still have a grandma or an aunt around that has that old recipe in one of her boxes.
This is so good.
Really
oh my
good.
gosh. And everybody's picking up more than one, and I'll show the box in just a second. Let's slice through this blueberry, though. Honestly, when you look at the top of this, I mean, do you want some cake with your blueberries? Holy Toledo. But it doesn't end there, because you slice into it, and then, oh my goodness, look at all the blueberries inside.
And wouldn't that be the way that a real grandma would make this?
Yes.
Just loading it up. And this happens to be fresh, plump, and juicy, just ripe for the picking. New England blueberries. That's where we're from. We're from New England. All the way through the cake with that signature streusel going through, and then generous amount of the blueberries on the top, along with the cinnamon sugar. You know what you will find if you're a first-time customer with us and you pick up this cake in particular, when you're taking it out of the wrapper, it will stick to your fingers.
I did wash my hands before
fresh
touching
our
all those.
cakes are.
Oh my
It will
gosh.
stick to your fingers.
Marie Louise, these cakes are so good. And you know what? There's just something so nostalgic about coffee cake. Now, there are coffee cakes that are actually made in this area at a company that's pretty well known in a plastic container. And honestly, it tastes like plastic container. but it's nostalgic. But when you open this up and taste it, the freshness of the flavors,
The moistness.
the moistness of the cake, right? Oh my gosh.
That's because these cakes are baked fresh. So when you get them home, they are going to arrive to you, or if you do a bill to, ship to
Right.
in a box, just like this. When you open it up, very well protected. They think of everything. Protect the integrity and the beauty of the cake with a little bit of additional cardboard in a great freezer bag. So open this up if you'd like. Take out what you need, pop it back into that freezer bag. You don't even need to put it back into the box and put it into the freezer. This will stay in your freezer for 365 days because there's no butter, no trans fat to get those ice crystals in. So the first time you freeze it, and I always recommend if you see a flavor that you love that we don't have on a lot,
Get it
grab
anyway,
it and
right?
pop it into your freezer.
And just
When you
leave it in
freeze
the
the first
freezer.
time is
Yeah.
the first time
Great
it's frozen.
suggestion.
You get about 14 slices per cake. So here's what that looks like. I mean, I'm talking like
beautiful.
4th of July,
Lots.
or if you've got
It's
a
not too
buffet that you're putting together, you know,
Shower,
this is
yeah.
it's perfect. So it can be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It is absolutely delicious, and each one of them has a distinct flavor. So the cinnamon walnut, Pat, that's the first one I gave you. I mean,
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. And I came up with the same thought you did, and that is that, Marie Louise, these are so moist. You know, many times I'm looking for something to send to someone as a thank you. And food always does the trick. So these are perfect to do bill to, ship to, and that's what most of you are doing. Buy more than one of these because the work is already done. I mean, you know, we wouldn't be able to get those special blueberries or the, you know, all the special ingredients. That's why it has 125 5 stars.
the almond
Yeah.
flavor in that almond poppy is delicious. It sold out last time. We've got the blueberry
good.
back. We've got the original cinnamon walnut. $26.75 to Pat's point. Do the bill to, ship to. Marie Louise, always a pleasure having you here with us. Thank you so
Thanks,
much, my dear. It was good to
Marie-Louise.
see you.
Be well.
Great to see you.
All
Love
right.
to everybody.
Bye-bye.
That was my
Good.
ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, James.